Let's cut out all this national noise and see what's really happening in the Orlando real estate market. From Oviedo all the way down to Winter Park, I got your details that you're looking for. Hey, everybody, Tim Weigel here, Watson Realty, and I'm excited to share your mid-month review of how we're doing locally in the February market. Now, this is only going up to February 14th. By the way, happy Valentine's Day to those who celebrated that yesterday, or happy Singles Awareness Day for those that don't. All right, so let's share this PowerPoint that's going to give you a rough idea of how the data is looking locally. So now keep in mind, data is constantly evolving. So this isn't going to give you everything that's 100% factual necessarily, because it's going to constantly be changing with numbers going up and down based off as the data is entered and saved. But it's going to give you a pulse of what the market's looking like locally. So what we're going to discuss, we're going to look at some local cities and discuss that mid-month data of what we're seeing and compare it year over year. We're going to then look at some broader numbers of what the counties are looking and doing so we can see how they're doing. And then I'm going to give you the 401 of what I'm seeing as someone that's out there dealing with listings and seller or buyers all the time. I know the questions that are being asked and I know what's happening in the transactions. All right, so we start off today with Casselberry. There was currently 69 active homes, 40 of them pending. Sold data, we sold 10 thus far that have closed, exact same amount as last year. So no real change there. Median sales price, we dropped a little bit by almost 3% down to 335, but it's not anything to sound the alarms on. Overall, the market is still pretty steady. And just like the stock market, you're going to have some good days and some bad days, good months and bad years. The thing is, you want to stay as close to zero on the bad days so that it doesn't make a big difference in the long-term future of your wealth. Days on the market, though, has definitely increased. We've went from 46 to 76. So that's almost a double intake. It's up about 65%. So gives you an idea of the slowing down market, and a lot of that's due to the increase in inventory, less buyers in that area. But your absorption rate is about 30%. Now, for those of you that don't know, an absorption rate gives you an idea of in a month period, how quickly are the homes going. So for this one, if we had no new listings at the market in roughly a little over 3 months, we're out of inventory. So, all right, moving on. This one is Oviedo. Oviedo is always a very popular one. And it's heavy residential. Lots of people coming here wanting to move both locally and afar. And it all has to deal with the community that Oviedo has built up. It used to be a country town, and now it's not so much. So active listings 174, pending listings 68. Sold 21, so we're about 40% greater than last year. Increase in price too, so median sold price from 425 to 430. It's about a 1% uptick. Days on the market, we went from 23 days to 50 days. So literally doubled in time frame. And a lot of that's going to correlate to active listings. We keep increasing the listings. But this is more of it's not a sound of alarm that national news is going to tell you about. This is more of hey, this is the new norm, and we've been here before, and this is more of a healthy market, even though from a seller's perspective, you might not feel the same. From a buyer's perspective, you're going to see there's a lot of opportunities. And then its absorption rate is about 23%. So Winter Springs, active listings 125, 61 for pending currently. Sold, we're down ticking on that one. So from 24 to 15 year over year, it's about a 37% decrease. Median sold price, though, went from 407 to 445. So that's almost a 10% increase. And then days on the market went from 40 to 58. So about a 45% increase. And then absorption rate, say that 5 times fast, is 20.8%. All right, Winter Park. So for Winter Park, active listings 125 with 61 pending. Sold, we went from 24 to 15 as well, so 37.5% decrease. Median sold price 407.5 to 445. And then days on market 40 to 58 with also a 20% absorption rate. Longwood, 160 active listings. Pending listings is 79. Sold price went from 27 to 27, so it stayed pretty flat. Median sales price 574.9 to 485. And then days on market 49 to 35, which is actually a decrease the days on market. And the absorption rate is about 25%. So, all right. The big metropolitan area that we all come from, Orlando. So the one place that everywhere can put on the map while everyone's curious where Longwood is. So active listings, 3,572. Pending listings, 1,069. Sold, we went from 292 to 257. So it's about a 12% decrease. Median sales price, 395 to 372. So about a 5% decrease. And then days on the market went from 44 to 47, which equates to about a 6% increase. Absorption rate is 17%. So again, overall, depending on what metropolitan you're looking at, you're talking about 5 months supply, 4 months supply, give or take. Okay, now let's look at the counties by the numbers. So first off, we start off with Seminole County. We have 114 so far for February, 114 single-family homes sold, 20 townhouses, and 17 condos. How it was paid for, I know a lot of people feel cash is king, which is true. There's not as many cash deals happening out there as you expect. 38 cash deals versus 116 loans. Now, for those loans, we're only looking at FHA, conventional, and VA because those are the most common loans that are going to happen. Orange, 300 single families homes sold, 45 townhouses, and 53 condos. How was it paid for? 118 cash versus 287 loan. Now let's jump over to our friends in Lake County. 166 sold, single family, 16 townhouses, and 4 condos. How was it paid for? 91 cash, 119 loan. As you can see, the uptick in cash out in Lake County compared to Seminole Orange is greater than us for sure. Volusia, 160 single family, 13 townhouses, 27 condos. How was it paid? 83 cash, 126 loan. Now, let's go ahead and let's give you the 4-on-1 of what we're seeing. So I am definitely seeing the online activity is moving for my listings. They're jumping up. Views are happening online. What that's telling me is there's a lot of pent-up demand that is currently sitting on the sidelines, just waiting for that opportunity to pounce, waiting for that right moment. And that right moment might happen later this year. So the calls to list and buy homes are definitely increasing every day. I'm having calls, people wanting to list with me, buyers wanting to work with me, and that's a big thing to think of. And then of course, seller frustration and fatigue are real. Sellers, I know when you list a home, it's not going to get sold that quick. You're going to get contracts, and depending on the buyer, if you don't get the right one, you might have some challenging buyers. It doesn't always happen, but it does happen. So, and the sellers get frustrated and they get fatigued. Some of the homes that are sitting and have gone through this multiple times, it's really like they're getting beaten down. And sellers might be taking less than what they need to. The opportunity to build family wealth, though, is out there. So if you really want to own real estate, it's doable. I recently helped somebody this year buy their first home from renting. Never even thought about it being possible. But we worked with them, built a team around them, protected them, and got them to the finish line. And that's the one thing to think of, is if you want it, you can do it. Okay. Opportunity is knocking for you buyers out there. So don't think you can't afford or can't figure it out. You can. Is it going to be stressful? Yes. Are there going to be challenges? Yes. But some of the best things in life come through those challenges. So if you want to connect with me, you can go ahead and click on this, reach out to me, get my phone number, text me, call me, send me an email. I'm open to all of the above. But in that, I hope your February is going good. I hope you spend some good time with your loved ones. I hope that the rest of the month goes great. I hope 2026 is your best year ever. And I'll see you guys in 2 weeks for my next update. Talk to y'all later.